Hey everyone, Harris Rubenstein here for NBA Weekly. We have some breaking news coming out of Houston as it's been announced that Chris Paul will miss Game 6 with that right hamstring strain that he suffered in the waning minutes of Game 5. Now, Chris Paul was excellent in that game. He dropped 20 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists, including 4 threes to lift the Rockets to a 3-2 lead, but with a little over a minute left in the game, he pulled up on a drive that he ended up missing with a right hamstring injury, as you'll see on your screen here. So the clear plan for the Rockets is to let Chris Paul rest up and play hopefully in Game 7 back in Houston if they can't finish the job in Golden State on Saturday. Now, Paul has averaged almost 20 points per game in the series to go along with 6.8 rebounds and 4.6 assists. He's only shot 40% from the field. However, his performance in the fourth quarter of the past 2 games have defined the Rockets' past 2 wins over the Warriors. Paul has had some issues with hamstrings this season. It's forced him to miss some games along with various knee and ankle injuries. But now we head into Game 6, and the Rockets do not have their lead point guard. So Eric Gordon will likely replace Paul in the starting lineup. However, that weakens the Rockets bench in a huge, huge way. Gordon was a finalist for the Sixth Man of the Year award and is a very important part of the Rockets rotation in general. Actually, the Rockets only played 7 total players in their Game 5 win over the Warriors. So losing out on someone like Chris Paul means that they're going to have to lengthen their bench a little bit. Maybe Mike D'Antoni will look the way of veteran guard Joe Johnson as he looks for a way to replace Chris Paul in the rotation. Whatever the Rockets end up doing, missing out on Chris Paul is huge. Like I said, he averaged 20 points per game so far in the series. And you should also expect Gerald Green to be the Rockets' official 6th man off the bench. He should see the biggest increase in minutes. But now we look ahead towards Game 7 and whether or not Chris Paul will be able to play in what will definitely end up being the biggest game of his career so far. This is Chris Paul's first ever conference final, so you know he's going to want to be out there for Game 7. So we have one more question for you guys before we go. Do you think the Rockets can beat the Warriors without Chris Paul? Let me know in the YouTube comments section, and we'll be sure to respond to any and all answers that we get into. Let's check out a preview for Game 6. It will be on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Rockets do lead the series as of right now 3-2. This is actually the Warriors' first elimination game since Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, which they did lose to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So not a ton of challenges so far for the Warriors the past 2 years. This is definitely the biggest game that they've had since that deciding game against Cleveland in Golden State. Again, that game will be Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember to tune in to Warriors Report on the Golden State Warriors by Chat Sports page for all the highlights and news from that game. But that's going to do for me today. Remember to follow me on Twitter at SportsDean for all your NBA news and updates. But for now, we'll see ya.